Alright, I've come back to level 488 because it was one of those, well, it was one of those games that has to be hard to explain in your strategy. And there are times when it is much easier to add an additional picture or even a close-up of a picture to explain what it is you're trying to tell them, to make it easier for them to understand. Most of the time we only need to use one full layout picture. I've not read the strategy on this picture, but as I played I took a couple of extra screenshots, and after I read the strategy in the guide I'll see if they help. If you make all the pictures, you do it one way, and if I add pictures, I'll fix everything that needs to be fixed. I'm going to make a close-up of this picture of that level 488, and that is because of all of these crystals that you have to break through in the beginning. Where is my cursor? I've lost it. There it is. Okay, so I'm not going to crop this whole picture. I'm just cropping out what it is I need. Make sure I click on my crop. I need, and I may even be able to crop it more, but I want to make sure, and I cropped it too much. Okay, I want to make sure that I get everything in here that I need and that I have enough room for everything. And I'll show you why I'm doing this. And I'll pull this down a little bit more. It makes it a little more square. Makes it easier. Okay, we're going to crop this picture. Wow. Now, there's a reason I'm doing this. I have two blue bubbles that are in these crystals. And I'm lining up 3 different color bubbles underneath. So when this bubble hits, it will rupture these 2 bubbles. And I'll have 2 blues, so that I will be able to use 1 shot instead of 2 single shots to break through them. But that'll all be in the strategy if I write it. Basically what I want to show you is that I'm going to write in text, and we have to change the size of the text. I already did this once, so it's probably going to come up the right side, because this is what we usually use. When we label our pictures, we label them in 48. But what I'm trying to do here is see if get the biggest text I can use in this picture. Now these are blue bubbles. Oh gee, I had another picture and I lost it. Did not make me a happy camper. So I will make this in the same color. I wonder, I could almost do a lot of these blues. Let's see what works out best. And that's what you have to do. You have to experiment. I don't use capitals here because my color didn't come through, did it? I don't use capitals here because it takes up too much room. Now, as you can see, I could probably make that text bigger. You can also move it exactly where you want it. Now, I'm going to reverse that again. This is how we fix it. I'm going to do text, and I'm going to try to make it bigger. See if I can go with a 24. That doesn't show up as well. There we go. Actually, it does. It doesn't look too bad. Let's see how it looks. There, that's blue. I probably could have moved it up. This is something that takes time. And then I can move this down, and I can move it over. That way I have it right over the blue. I don't think using a dark blue is going to show here because I've got this black bubble. But that will show that I have blue bubbles. Now if I wanted to, I could even take lines or an arrow. Let's see where my downward arrow is. Here it is. Just take a little arrow. I'm going to do a little arrow like that. Except I don't like it. It's too close. I can draw an arrow with straight lines. I know this seems complicated, but it really isn't. It does take extra time when you're doing some of these special things here. I want it closer together. Getting it to move is the hardest part. I want it closer together because I don't want a space in there. I just want an arrow. There. Shows that I have blue. It's right over the gold. But you don't have to do blue. Just draw a straight line. Blue. Gee, how easy is that? That was much faster, much quicker. Okay, so I've got blue. I've got blue, shows me my blue bubbles. I am going to draw a line that matches as closely as I can, showing that when this gold bubble hits here, that it will shatter. Okay? And that's basically what I'm going to do for this close-up. I also have to label this close-up. And I, again, will use the largest. I can go larger. We're going to try to go 28. Sometimes you can even get a 36 in there, and that's great too. Okay, so what I will label it, I'm not going to put in the level, I'm not going to do all that stuff. This is 488. I can make it bigger. Close up. Okay? If you have a couple of close-ups, then you write 1 and 2. I'm going to get rid of this again. And I'm going to go for 36. Some of your close-ups are not that big, so you do have to use a smaller font. So this is 488. See the difference? Close-up. The reason we do that is when I put these in the guides, these pictures, even though they look like this here, these pictures are smaller, and we want them to be able to see it. So that's what I do here. On a close-up picture, those sizes are between 100 and 150. Well, that's a pretty big picture there. Let's see what we have. Let's look at 125 and see if I like it. Okay, that's 125. I might go 150 for this particular one. And then I do these, we call them thumbprints in the guides, and I can write stuff underneath that. There, I like that better. That's how I keep it. It looks really small here, but it will show up better in the guide because I have the colors marked and I will have explained it out. Now I'm going to save this. I'm going to show you one other picture I made for that layout. That one I have to open up. And that is level 488. 2. Okay, I wrote it as 2 in here. That's something else again. When you're making all of your own guides and doing all of your own pictures, when you have more than one full layout picture, you need to mark it A, B, A and B, or C. Don't do more than 3 full layouts if at all possible. If we do a 4th picture, I prefer it to be a close-up. Remember, the more pictures you have, the smaller they have to be sized. So if I use this picture, it is going to be a full layout picture, by the way. I will have to go back and resize the other full layout picture to, I don't need the whole thing. I just need, there's a couple of things I need to do. The full layout picture. And resize it to smaller. Now there's a reason I'm doing this. I have to use 2 single shots on one side and a rainbow on another. So I'm going to draw directional lines, okay, to show what I need to do. I may do them, I don't have to do them in a matching color. I got different colors over here. What's this color that I just put in here? That's crop. I still want crop. How did I get there? I want to go here. There. I'm going to use a different color, okay? Because I'm using the same color on both sides. So I'm going to go up here and down to my pot. And I'm going to go up here and down to my pot. Because I'm going to explain that they've got, you know, what you have to do here. I'll go back and fix this up. And then I'll label it, you know, level, you know, 488 B. If you were making it, it would be B. If I'm making it, I'll have to write something else. I'll have to write, you know, I'll write something underneath it. This shows what they need to do. You don't need to worry about that. You just need to worry about your own pictures. Now, in order to keep from making more pictures, let's say they had to do, you know, they had to shoot to the left first. You can draw one line, and then you can draw another line instead of taking another picture and say, you know, that you would shoot this way second. Then you can label. I like to use text. I really do, but it has to be the right size. And here I would write, this is actually too big, first. And over here I would write second. Okay? And that would show, that would correspond directly to your strategy guide and help explain where it is they need to make the shots. If it's an aiming shot, whatever the case may be. If it's an aiming shot, write aiming shot in your guide with the picture link and explain what it is. These are all things that try and make your diagram easier. I'm going to save this. As I said, I'm going to read through the text. If I need to add anything, I'll add the pictures. I'll make the changes to the sizes. But if you need to help explaining, then that, you know, explaining your strategy, take a couple of more pictures, draw in or write in whatever it is they need to do, and then you save it and just make sure that everything is in the right size. Now I'm going to make one more short video to show you something, and I think that'll pretty much take care of all of your questions.